The screen lit up across millions of star systems. A sleek alien presenter, with blue skin and glowing eyes, faced the camera with a wide grin. Today in Galactic Games, Earth finishes last. Again behind her, video footage showed a small Earth fleet struggling in a simulated war drill. Ships collided, targeting systems failed. Their final vessel was destroyed in under 5 minutes. Alien laughter echoed from audiences across the stars. This marks Earth's 12th failure in the interstellar combat drills. Some are calling them the wet paper of war. The screen. It shifted to an alien general in a sharp black uniform. His name, General Vokrax of the Zarnok Empire. His voice was filled with amusement. Earth, please, their weapons belong in museums. Their tactics are ancient. Let them stick to farming and mining. This is a galaxy for warriors. Cheers followed, but somewhere, far from the cameras, someone wasn't laughing. Titan Station. Outskirts of Saturn, a bar called the Rusted Comet sat on the edge of the station's lower ring. It wasn't elegant dim lights, a flickering hollow sign. A leaking pipe hissed behind the counter. Only 3 people sat inside. No one noticed the man in the back corner. He wore an old leather jacket. His hair was gray, his face unshaven, but his eyes were cold, sharp, and watching. He sipped quietly from a glass of something that glowed blue. The broadcast echoed from a dusty wall screen. Let them stick to farming. Vokrax laughed. The old man didn't flinch. He simply put his drink down on the table. Then he spoke calm and clear. Hold my drink, I'm going. The bartender paused. Ushi froze. You what? He stood up slowly. The bar creaked under his boots. She whispered again, now recognizing him. Wait, you're not. Yes, he said. I am. He walked past her without looking back. Name, Kai Mercer. Status, retired. Legally dead. Former rank commander. Red Zero Unit Terran Special Operations. He had disappeared after the Treaty of Sal when Earth stepped back from war. Most thought he died in some secret mission. Others said he left in shame. They were all wrong. Kai had been watching, waiting, and now he was done waiting. Level 9 access off limits. Corridor. Kai walked into an abandoned section of the station. The lights were broken. Paint peeled from the walls. Old Terran posters faded on the bulkheads. He scanned his palm on a dead panel. Access denied. He smiled, then he punched it once. A shockwave pulsed. Behind the panel something clicked. The wall opened. Inside, a steel locker marked with one symbol. Red circle crossed by 3 scars. Red 0. He opened it slowly. Inside the locker, a black case with a glowing AI chip. A folded combat suit made of band polymetal armor. A knife, with blood still on its edge, and a photo for soldiers. Smiling, one of them, Kai. All now listed as Kia. He picked up the chip. Still with me, Ember? The AI chip blinked twice. Then a female voice responded. I've been bored, Commander. He inserted the chip into a slot in the armor's neck brace. The suit hissed, unfolding over him like living shadow. You're not authorized to operate Terran military assets. The AI teased. Good thing I don't care. Elsewhere, Zarnok Military Command General Vokrax sipped wine from a crystal glass. He laughed as the broadcast played on loop. Earth's failures. His soldiers cheering. Junior officer approached. We've detected an old Terran beacon activating where? Asteroid belt. Sector Deltanine. It's an encrypted frequency military grade. Vokrax waved his hand lazily. Ignore it. Just some trash systems glitching. But as he turned back to his screen, something odd happened. The broadcast cut. For 3 seconds, a new signal replaced it. Black screen, red circle, 3 scars, then a voice. Red 0, reactivated. Titan Station. Control room. Breach alarms sounded. Security bots rushed to Sector 8C. Doors were sealed. Systems locked down, but they were too late. Kai Mercer was already gone. He had stolen a jump ship. Destination unknown. Deep Space. Ember. Online inside the cockpit. The AI Ember glowed softly. I assume this is about the Zarnok. Kai nodded. It's about the galaxy. They think Earth's weak. They forgot who lit the last war. And you're going to remind them. He grinned. No, I'm going to wake the others. Elsewhere, on a cold mining Mona, a woman sat alone in a cave. She stared at a broken helmet in her lap. It belonged to her sister dead in the last war. Then her comm device blinked. One message, one voice. Red 0, reactivated. Kai is back. She stood up slowly and reached for her rifle. Elsewhere, Mars, a man in a wheelchair, stared at the stars. He hadn't walked in years. His body was broken, but he too received the message. Red 0, reactivated. And in the basement of his home, a hidden chamber opened. Back in space, Kai's ship approaches a derelict station. The station was dead. No power, no lights, no life signs, but Kai knew what was hidden inside. One piece at a time, he whispered, let's show them Earth wasn't weak. We were just waiting for someone to say the words, hold my drink. End on suspense. Kai enters the station's main core. He lifts the floor panel and pulls out a black case. Inside, a Terran beacon with intergalactic override codes, something no living commander should still possess. He places his hand on it. A warning flashes. Warning, activating this device may trigger planetary alert. Systems and violate the Treaty of Sol. Kai laughs. Good. He presses it. Fade to black. The moment Kai activated the beacon, three things happened. Every Terranera satellite from Pluto to Venus blinked awake for the first time in 40 years. Hidden buoys deep in asteroid fields sent a coded phrase to known and unknown coordinates: Red 0. Authority restored. Stand by. In the deepest layer of Earth's defense network buried beneath firewalls no alien system could break. A name reappeared on file. Kai Mercer status: active clearance, black level clearance, tag, ghost access, override all last command role, commander. Red 0 team flashback. Earth. 27 years ago the war was brutal. Earth was losing. The Zarnok Empire and its allied factions had crushed 7 Terran colonies. Entire cities were burned. Earth had few ships, fewer allies, and too many dead. But then, secret unit changed everything. Red 0, not a regular team, not soldiers in uniforms that were the weapons Earth built in the dark when the world was desperate and angry. Each one chosen because they were broken, dangerous, or too good at war to live peacefully. Kai Mercer led them. Fire room. President Daikai walked into the old station's archive vault. The lights flickered as dust floated around him. The room smelled like burnt circuits and metal. On the wall, an old sign read: 0 Central Access Restricted. He pressed his hand against the scanner. A red beam passed over his palm. The scanner hesitated, then clicked green. Welcome back, Commander Mercer. Inside, sealed lockers lined the walls. Each one held something lost after the war. Hollow footage from forgotten missions. Voice recordings from fallen team members, prototype weapons that never made it into official war use. Kai opened locker 7. Inside lay a single Terran dog tag. The name read: a Morel sniper, Red 0. He held it quietly for a moment. I told you we weren't done yet, he whispered. Then he closed the locker. Titan Station. News spreads: the activation of Kai's beacon did more than wake up Earth's satellites. It sent a signal across the old network-coded Terran military web that the galaxy thought was erased. And some heard it. Europa outpost, deep ice mining facility. A woman named Tess Auren was on her shift. She was slim, quiet, sharp-eyed. No one knew her real past. She was just another worker, until her implant buzzed in a hidden channel. Red 0 protocol reactivated. Authorization. Mercer. Her hands froze. She hadn't heard that name in 20 years. Slowly, she walked to her locker. She opened a hidden compartment. Inside, an old rifle with a burned-out Terran insignia, and a photo of Kai smiling. She didn't smile back. Damn it, Kai. I told you to stay dead. But she pulled the rifle out anyway. Zarnok Empire Military Intelligence Corps. On the other side of the galaxy, Zarnok Command intercepted part of the signal. General Vokrak stared at the code. This can't be right. An analyst stepped forward. Sir, the code is old, but it's active. It came from a Terran unit called Red 0. Red 0 was a myth. Apparently not, sir. The signal came from a derelict station near the asteroid belt. What did it say? It said, "We're coming back." Vokrax's smile vanished. Send a hunter squad quietly. Kai's plan begins back in the old station. Kai uploaded Ember, his AI companion, into the main system. Start waking the files. All of them, Ember asked. All of them, one by one. Secret mission logs, black site coordinates, and forbidden tech specs began to appear. This stuff was banned after the Treaty of Soul, Ember warned. So is telling Earth to sit down and shut up, Kai replied. You really plan to do this? He looked at the screen. It showed 5 red dots. Each one was a Red 0 member believed dead or missing. He tapped one. Let's go find Rue, moon of Exofor junk world buried beneath layers of crashed ships and scrap metal. An old AI lab still ran, barely its last engineer, a woman named Rue Salin, hadn't seen another human in 6 years. She lived among broken machines. She called them names, taught them to sing. But then, one of her drones blinked a blue light. She turned. That's not part of your programming, ... The drone repeated one phrase, Commander Mercer, active. Drew dropped her tools. Well, *T. He's alive. Then she laughed a long, unhinged laugh. Guess I better dust off the cores. Back in deep space, Kai's ship, Ember-class Ember, projected Kai's face onto a nearby display. One more thing, the AI. The wind howled over the red dust. High above, satellites spun in silence. But deep below the Martian crust, a long-forgotten elevator rumbled as it descended. Kai Mercer stood inside the lift. His armor, dark and sleek, reflected soft orange lights. Behind him, Rue, Salin, messy hair, mechanical gloves, half-mad smile, held an old Terran tablet. You know this place was shut down for a reason, right? Rue said, adjusting her goggles. Kai didn't look at her. That's why we're opening it. You ever wonder why they buried it in a mountain and erased it from records? Kai gave a slight smile. All the more reason to bring it back. The elevator doors hissed open. Welcome to Ember Lynette. Air inside the facility was dry and cold. Walls were lined with black cables and faded warning signs. Project Emberline, do not power without black level permission. A dead AI voice tried to speak but stuttered. Rue tapped the control terminal. Power's at 3%. Give me a minute. Lights flickered. One by one, ancient systems came online. A hollow female voice, stronger now, echoed across the chamber. Warning, unauthorized presence detected. Scanning, Red Zero clearance confirmed. Commander Kai Mercer, welcome back. AI Core Room. They entered a massive chamber. In the center, a sphere floated inside a stasis field glowing faintly red. Around it, shattered security drones and burned-out turrets littered the floor. Looks friendly, Rue muttered. Don't touch anything. Metal, Kai warned. Last time this thing woke up, it fried a whole fleet before we even finished saying hello. He stepped forward and raised his hand. Mercer reactivating Ghost Protocol. The stasis field blinked off. The room went silent. Then the AI voice returned sharper now. Designation Emberline online. Authority recognized. Red Zero status. Active query. Are we at war again? Kai's face went cold. No, not yet, but the galaxy's asking for it. Understood, Emberline replied. Primary functions restored. Preparing deployment options. Screens lit. Up around the room. Old Terran wall maps. Hidden satellite links. Black site asset locations. Emergency fleet docking points. Things Earth swore were destroyed. These were supposed to be gone, Rue whispered. They weren't, Kai said. They were just asleep. Elsewhere, Mars orbit. The Zarnok Hunter Squad entered Martian orbit in a stealth ship. Their commander, a four-eyed creature named Kelrux, studied his orders. Target, Kai Mercer. Objective, kill before Earth's systems reawaken. Directive, deny all traces. They dropped 5 stealth pods toward the surface. Emberline's memory returns. The AI shimmered. More data unlocked. More systems connected. Updating strategic status. Warning, galactic threat levels at stage 5. Empire fleet activity detected. Within Mars perimeter. Kai turned to Rue. They're here. Rue's fingers flew across the panel. Then let's give them a proper welcome. Outer perimeter defense grid reboot across the mountains. Outer edges, turrets hidden beneath rocks unfolded. Missile silos hummed online. Cloaked defense drones began patrolling the skies. Zarnok infiltration. The first alien pod landed quietly. No sound, no fire. 4 armored Zarnok soldiers moved silently toward the Emberline facility. One stayed behind to jam communications. Target is close. One whispered. Inside the AI chamber, Emberline spoke. Alert, unidentified thermal. Signatures inbound. 4 targets, silent ops, pattern. Kai loaded his rifle, Rue whispered. You think they know what's down here? They'll figure it out the hard way. First contact. The aliens reached the entrance tunnel just meters from the core vault, but the moment they entered, click ping buzz, Emberline whispered. Minefield active. Explosions lit the hallway. 2 aliens were instantly vaporized. One screamed, crawling with half a leg missing. The 4th opened fire. Kai stepped through the smoke and shot him once clean through the helmet. Rue locks down the facility. She typed fast. They got in fast. Too fast. Someone high up gave them access codes. Kai nodded. Which means Vocrax knows. And that means more coming. Kai turned to Ember. Pull every hidden Terran recon drone within 10 light years. I want to see every ship that sneezes near Mars. The AI responded calmly. Done. 142 surveillance assets deployed. First contact results uploaded. Empire Command will see their squad is dead. Vocrax's reaction. Empire Fleet Command inside a dark war room. General Vocrax stared at the recovered drone footage. He watched as his best hunter team was wiped out by automated Terran defenses systems they thought destroyed. Then he saw something worse. A single frame, paused by his analysts. Kai Mercer, walking toward the screen, saying one word. Surprise. Vocrax's fist slammed the table. I want the Emberline site destroyed. Now I don't care what's buried there. One officer hesitated. Sir, the Galactic Council banned deplanetary strikes after the Treaty of Seoul. Do you think I care? If Mercer's alive, Earth is not weak. Earth is patient. Earth is dangerous. He stood tall. If they want war, let's remind them who ruled the stars. Meanwhile, Earth's DeepNet reactivated back on Earth. A private AI lab picked up an old signal, something no one had seen in decades. Red Zero reactivated Project Emberline Live. Young engineer Tessa Lorne stared at the screen. She was born after the last war. She had never heard of Kai Mercer, never heard of Emberline, but now she was in whatever this is. Earth's not done yet. Back in the Emberline, Koru locked down the facility. The corpses of the Zarnok soldiers were already being dragged out by drones. Kai stood silently as Emberline projected a final message across the core room. If Red Zero is active, then Ghost Protocol must follow. Global network sync required. Buried fleets awaiting instruction. Kai nodded. Begin Phase 1. Emberline's lights turned blood red. Earth's wrath is waking. Final scene. Secret asteroid vault far beyond Mars, on a hidden moon of Jupiter. Another facility blinked to life. Inside, 6 massive Terran destroyers floated in 0G, each one marked classified not to be activated without Ghost Protocol. Now their reactors powered on. Their weapons rotated and the AI inside one of them whispered, Red Zero, we are ready. The AI named Emberline pulsed red. Lights flickered across the chamber as more systems came online. One by one, ancient Machines awakened, each one a hidden piece of Earth's forbidden past. Commander Kai Mercer stood in the center of the chamber, helmet under one arm. His eyes were locked on the growing display before him, a live star map showing Terran Sleeper, systems quietly activating. Rue wiped sweat from her brow as sparks flew from an old access panel she was rewiring. You sure we want to wake all of this, Kai? Because from where I'm standing, this looks like the kind of stuff that broke the stars last time. Kai didn't look away. Exactly, and that's why we need it now. The AI speaks system. Sync complete. Ghost Fleet. Nodo 1 confirmed operational. Quantum beacons at Jupiter, Saturn, and Europa active. Awaiting command. Reveal or remain hidden. Kai paused. He knew what reveal meant. It would alert half the galaxy, maybe more, that Earth's darkest weapons weren't myths, but he also knew the Zarnok Empire had already made its move. They sent assassins. They'd send more. Reveal, Kai said. Europa. Cold silence breaks far across space. An asteroid orbiting Europa shimmered with blue light. Its surface cracked. Heat bled from beneath the rock. Then a hangar opened. Inside, 3 Terran battlecruisers hovered, dormant since the end of the last war. Their hulls were black, without markings. Their weapons weren't visible. They didn't need to be. They didn't roar to life. They HUMMED. And in silence, they lifted into space. Galactic Council. Emergency alert across known space. Hundreds of listening posts went haywire. Unknown ships were being detected. No IDs, no registration. All with one shared signal. REZO-1 active council agents scrambled. That's impossible. Earth decommissioned Red Zero. They signed the Soul Treaty. These aren't civilian ships. These are war ghosts. The Empire reacts and board the Zarnok High flagship. General Vokrak stood before a wall of holographic alerts, each one flashing red dot. He growled. So, Mercer has teeth after all. Launch the destroyer fleet, he ordered. We crush Emberline now. And what of the council? Asked a lower officer. Vokrax's eyes narrowed. Let them cry after we're finished. Back on Mars, assembly begins. Kai and Rue moved fast. We have 6 warships inbound, Rue warned. Estimate, 2 days until impact, maybe less. Kai walked into the armory. He opened one crate after another, each filled with banned Earth tech. Magnetic pulse mines, nanite disruptors, railgun coil packs, tactical AI cores. Pulled out a black wrist module and strapped it on. Get me Tess, the engineer. She's still on Earth. She's good. You trust her? Rue asked. No, but I trust she wants to build something that lasts. Earth nighttime activation. Tess Lorne, 24 years old, was a junior AI technician in the Pacific Enclave. She wasn't military. She wasn't a hero, but she received the Red Zero signal and couldn't look away. She followed the coordinates. Kai sent dot. Now she stood in an abandoned Terran defense hangar. The door creaked open inside. One ship. Small, fast, black as space. No pilot had flown it in 30 years. A voice inside her earpiece spoke. You're late, Tess. She froze. Mercer, the cockpit's yours if you want to help us wake the rest. She didn't hesitate. Orbit the silent arrivals. Earth's skies darkened. A ship silently departed the planet. Tess was inside, heading to Mars. She didn't know the full story yet, but she knew one thing. Earth wasn't weak. Earth was waiting, and something was finally waking it up. XARNOK destroyer fleet, Mars-bound 6 heavy war. 23 alien species filled the Grand Hall. Screens showed footage from Mars, the destruction of the Zarnok fleet, the reactivation of Earth's ancient war AI, and Kai Mercer's message. Gasps, shouting fear. Ambassador Krolin of the Zarnok Empire slammed a clawed hand onto the marble table. This is proof. Earth is a rogue state. They have broken the Treaty of Soul. They possess illegal AI and pre-ban weapons. We demand immediate council action. A few others nodded, but many sat silent, terrified. Then the human ambassador stood, a calm, older woman, gray hair, simple suit, her voice steady. You invaded Martian airspace, you sent assassins, and you called us weak, on every frequency. Did you think we'd stay asleep forever? Dead silence? Earth didn't start this, she continued. But if you want fire, we'll show you the sun. Project Emberline, Mars underground facility. Kai Mercer watched a broadcast in silence. Tess sat nearby, running diagnostics on the Mars defense grid. Rue was rebuilding a drone that had lost an arm during the last Zarnok incursion. Council won't act, Kai said finally. They're scared of both sides now, and fear makes people freeze. So what's next? Rue asked. We hit back, not loud, not big, but sharp. Kai turned to Emberline. Pull the list of Zarnok tactical hubs, ones used for off-book missions. I want the 3 worst. Emberline's response. 3 priority targets located. All classified Zarnok black sites, Gamma Vault slave genetic testing, Nerex data weapon smuggling hub, Uric Station prison mine for Terran civilians. Kai's jaw tightened. Prepare strike team. Begin with Uric Station. They thought we forgot. Let's remind them. Uric Station, Outer Rim labor prison floating above a dead planet. Uric was never shown to the public. No one left it alive. Inside, thousands of human prisoners mined or with bare hands. The guard Zarnok warriors with shock weapons watched with amusement. Then, all the lights went dark, klaxons blared. A voice echoed across the prison. Intercom in ancient Terran dialect. Red Zero, present. Red Zero drops in. 3 drop pods slammed through the ceiling. From one, Kai Mercer emerged in black armor, eyes glowing with Emberline's targeting feed. From the second, Tess piloting a nano-drone suit. From the third, an unknown figure, tall, covered in scars, a new ally. He said nothing, only carried a plasma blade the size of a spear. Who's that? Tess whispered. Old friend, Kai said. Used to be a farmer. Empire burned his farm down, now he farms bones. The Uric uprising in under 6 minutes. 41 guards were dead, 1,400 prisoners. Freed explosives set on the reactor core. Prisoners armed and loaded onto stealth shuttles. The last thing the station heard, tell Vokrak's Earth remembers. The Uric station exploded, leaving no trace but Terran defiance. News spreads fast. By the time the Zarnok Empire confirmed the destruction, the story had already leaked. Across the galaxy, independent news feeds showed raw footage of Kai freeing emaciated human prisoners. A small child looked into the camera and said, "The ghosts came for us. The ones the Empire said were dead. They came, and they fought." Public sympathy shifted. Vokrak's enraged Zarnok general threw his wine against the wall of his chamber. This was supposed to be easy. Earth was finished. His aide trembled. "They're not building armies, sir. They're building stories, and those stories are spreading." Vokrax paused. Then he smiled darkly. "Then let's give them a story to fear." The Empire's mistake. 2 days later, Earth's moon detected a massive energy spike. Not a fleet, not a message, but a weapon. A solar injector fired from Zarnok-controlled territory. Its purpose was simple: destabilize the moon's orbit using gravitational compression. If it hit, Earth's oceans would rise, billions would suffer. It would look like an accident. But Earth wasn't sleeping before the injector reached halfway. A Terran weapon platform blinked to life from a dead comet near Neptune, classified as destroyed 70 years ago. It wasn't solar threat detected, Emberline announced. Counter-strike approved. 1 pulse beam fired. It traveled 3.6 astronomical units in 10 seconds. The injector shattered, harmless debris burning in silence. Earth speaks. Kai appeared once again on an open broadcast, his face calm, cold, focused. "You tried to drown our planet. You failed." He leaned in. "You've made one mistake, Empire. You've reminded humanity why we used to rule by fear, and now we remember." Shock across the galaxy. Worlds that once laughed at Earth now watched in silence. Former conies sent quiet messages to Kai. "Can we help? Do you remember us? Earth still protects, right?" And deep in the outer dark, alien empires began reviewing Terran treaty files. Some looked too closely and something looked back. Rue's discovery. Rue burst into Kai's command chamber. "We've got a problem." "Bigger than Zarnok?" Kai asked. She nodded. "During the strike on Uric Station, we recovered a data vault. It wasn't Zarnok." Kai frowned. "Whose was it?" Rue handed him a tablet. "Unknown origin, non-council, not even Terran." Kai stared at the screen. It showed a map, a system long thought empty. One Kai had fought near long ago. "I've seen that place. No one came back from there." Tess intercepts a signal on the Mars relay tower. Tess caught a rogue transmission. It wasn't encrypted. It wasn't hidden. It was sent openly to all Red Zero channels. One phrase, one voice, not Zarnok, not Council. "You woke first. We are waking too. See you soon, Mercer." Across hundreds of systems once colonized by humans, now abandoned, suppressed, or enslaved by alien empires, a single encrypted message began to pulse through the void. Red Zero is active. Earth remembers. If you were once ours, you are again. This is your rally. On mining moons, deep core ships, decaying trade hubs, people lifted their heads. Some had never seen Earth, others only heard stories. But the name Red Zero hit like thunder in dry bones. Kai Mercer's secret meeting, asteroid belt refugee port inside a hidden station carved into an asteroid. Kai met with the first group to respond. They weren't warriors. They were survivors. Former Earth scientists who fled the fall. Smugglers who ran medicine to Terran planets. A pirate lord whose mother died under Zarnok whips. The room was dim, full of cigarette smoke and quiet anger. One man stood heavy, armor-scarred jaw. "You brought us here, Mercer. But what do you really want?" Kai stepped forward. "I want the galaxy to stop laughing. I want them to fear Earth again. And I want your help to do it." Rue's old weapon, the Goliath, awakens meanwhile on a desert moon orbiting Saturn. Rue and Tess returned to a bunker no one had opened in 40 years. Inside was Project Goliath. Not a warship, a mech. 50 meters tall, built for orbital combat. Forbidden by the Council due to its AI-linked neural interface. Tess gasped. "This thing could crush a city." "It was never meant to crush cities," Rue replied. "It was made to end wars before they start." They climbed inside. The interface flickered, a voice echoed. "Rue Salem, pilot confirmed. Reactivation complete. The Empire watches on the edge of Council space." General Vokrax received a report from the intel agents who hadn't yet been caught. They showed footage, Red Zero's call reaching mining ships, ships bearing old Terran flags lighting engines. Terran colonies once thought dead rising from dust. Vokrak's paced in silence. They're not just resisting, they're organizing. His aide spoke quietly, and sir, there's more. He turned. The aide showed him a still image recovered from a deep space signal scan. A fleet was gathering near the old Dagon expanse. Dozens of ships. No Empire markings, no IDs. All of them human. This wasn't in our predictions. The Ghost. Armada back on Mars. Emberline projected a hologram before Kai. 17 Terran vessels have answered your call. 8 are combat capable. 3 are AI-driven war rigs. 2 are ex-council defectors, and 1 is unaccounted for. Kai frowned. Unaccounted. Emberline magnified the image. The ship was massive, triple-hulled, built with designs that hadn't been seen since before the last war. Where did this ship come from? Tess asked. Unknown. No registry, no logs. But its beacon reads Astra Victus. Rue stepped back, her face pale. That ship was never real. It was just a myth. The last prototype built before Earth pulled back. Kai's eyes narrowed. If it's here now, then someone's been waiting longer than us. The Galactic Council breaks apart in Nevron Core. The Council struggled to hold together. The Zarnok demanded war. The Zari demanded peace. The Macto suggested containment. But none could agree, because every day, more planets showed Red Zero signals. Every day, more Earth-based systems woke up, and then Earth made its boldest move yet. The Terran broadcast once again. Kai appeared on every channel, free and encrypted alike. No one could block the signal. He stood before Project Goliath, its head towering behind him. His voice echoed like thunder. We didn't come back to beg. We came back because you forgot who we are. This galaxy was built on Terran hands. On our science, on our dead. You can erase our name, but you can't erase our memory. He stepped closer. To any system that wants peace, we offer it. To any system that still wears Earth's chains, we are coming. The feed cut. Reactions across the galaxy. On the slave planet Korify, prisoners began rioting. In the mining city of Delphinide, humans overran their alien guards. A fleet of deserter ships once used by the Council turned their hulls black and joined Red Zero, but something else woke too deep beyond the rim. In a sector long marked unsurveyed, a station blinked online. Its power core hadn't been activated in 1,000 years. Inside, something watched the Terran signal. Something not XARNOK, something older. The message from Horus One echoed through systems that hadn't heard from Earth in centuries. Tess stared at the blinking signal on her screen. It was faint, but unmistakable. HORUS 1 status. Returning. Warning. Unknown contact trailing. Not Empire. Not Council. Not alive. Rue muttered from across the room. If Horus One is really back, that's not good news. Kai Mercer said nothing. He stood perfectly still, reading the decoded signal again and again. This contact followed them for 12 light-years without being seen. That's not Empire tech. That's something else. Mars orbit. The Coalition gathers over the Red Planet. Dozens of ships now flew under the Red Zero flag. Fighters, frigates, a few most were retrofitted from mining haulers and old defense patrol ships. They weren't perfect, but they were human, and they were ready. Tess looked out the window of the command tower. This feels like something big is coming. Not just war. Something worse. Kai nodded. Something's crawling out from the dark, and I think we woke it up. Meanwhile, the Zarnok general prepares final blow. Ravokrox, frustrated and cornered, moved to launch his most dangerous plan yet. Activate cradle fire, he ordered. A command officer froze. Sir, that hasn't been used since the Burning Moons campaign. It's banned by every so was invading Mars, and yet here we are. Cradle fire wasn't just a weapon. It was a biological virus, engineered to only affect Terran DNA. It didn't kill fast. It corrupted minds, broke memory, twisted will. If we can't beat their fleet, Vokrax hissed, we'll break their people. Deep Void Horus One, arrival in the black emptiness past charted space. A Terran recon cruiser shimmered back into visible reality. Horus One, once declared lost 80 years ago, now limped toward friendly space. Its hull was scarred. One engine was dead, its lights flickered, but it wasn't alone. Trailing behind it was a shadow, a structure, not a ship, not alive, but enormous, silent, unscanned. Rue stared at the image from orbit. What the hell is that? Tess whispered. That's not made by anything we've ever catalogued. HORUS 1 transmits final data before it could reach orbit. HORUS 1 transmitted its core logs. They had found a structure buried in subspace, drifting between realities. The crew tried scanning it. 2 vanished, another went mad. The last sealed the ship and ran. Inside the transmission. 1 log stood out, a final audio. The voice was cracked, terrified. It watched us. It doesn't use eyes. It listens. It remembers Earth. We woke something, and it's coming. Then static. Kai calls a council of commanders in Emberline's war room. Kai stood before the captains of every Red Zero aligned ship. We thought the Empire was the worst we'd face. But something's moving out in the dark. And it isn't bound by treaties or war. A young captain asked, What do? Kai didn't blink. We finish what we started. The Empire tried to break us. We make them pay. But we don't forget what's out there. We prepare for both. Empire moves to deploy Cradlefire in a massive carrier above the planet Zero. The Cradlefire virus was loaded into missiles. Target Mars and Terra. It would be a silent strike, non-explosive, carried by nanoclouds, but one Zarnok scientist hesitated. She whispered to her aide, "If this lands, we're not just ending a war, we're ending what makes humans human." Interception Emberlines. Surprise. Kai already suspected something. Emberline picked up launch codes being routed through relay satellites. Tests cracked the encryption. They're launching something small, not nukes. It's too clean, but they're targeting atmospheres. Kai's face turned to stone. Cradlefire. What's that? Tess asked. A virus, not made to kill, just break minds. It was banned before you were born, because once it's out, no one stays. Sane Roos stood. I can scramble the orbital beacons. If I hit the packet feeds, I can reroute their missiles. Do it, and load countercode into the upper net. Red Zero fights back. Data warfare begins. This wasn't a battle of ships. It was information war. Drew and Tess sat side by side in Emberline's control hub, fingers flying, lines of code, quantum encryption, layered firewalls, breaking and building in real time. They hijacked Zarnik's transmission satellites, flipped security loops, turned the Cradlefire payload back toward the Empire's owned labs. They'll think we used it on them. Ju laughed. Good, Kai said. Let them choke on their own weapon. Kai's broadcast to the Empire once again. Kai appeared on every open channel. You tried to poison our minds. You failed. Your lies returned to your own doors. And now, you face not just Earth, but every colony, every ship, every ghost you made. He held up a small objector, broken Zarnok officer's pin, taken from the team that invaded Mars. You mocked our silence. Now hear our war cry. He dropped the pin. The camera cut to black. Horus-1 reaches Emberlinethi's ship, finally docked. Out stumbled its captain, a human with gray eyes and skin pale from decades in deep space. Hibernation, he said, only this. It's not here for conquest, it's here to finish something. Kai asked. What? The captain looked up. We destroyed it once, buried it in subspace, but we used something old. Something Earth locked away. And now that we've reactivated Emberline, it hears us again. Final scene. The watching darkness far beyond the galactic rim. In the space between systems, a shape formed out of mist and silence. Not metal, not flesh. Something between thought and structure. Something ancient. It turned toward the Milky Way, and a single message pulsed from it. Memory reactivated. Terra located. Phase 1 resuming. The Zarnok Empire, once untouchable, was collapsing from within. Their propaganda networks shattered. Their sleeper labs were exposed. Cradlefire, their biological weapon, had been turned back against them, and above their capital world, 3 Terran warships now hovered, silent, unmarked, but deadly. General Vokrak stood in his war room, hands shaking. They were supposed to be broken. Scattered, a junior officer whispered. Sir, Earth was never broken. We just stopped listening. Then a new message arrived. Not from a channel, from the stars themselves. Emberline broadcast Earth's final warning in every sector. On every screen, Terran and alien alike, a final transmission played. Kai Mercer stood aboard a warship, backed by Project Goliath and the Red Zero banner. His face was calm. To the Zarnok Empire, you broke treaties. You attacked civilians. You poisoned our world and mocked our silence. He leaned forward. Now we are finished being silent. The screen cut to dozens of ships powering up. This is not a war for survival. This is a warning. You cannot erase Earth. You can only wake it, and you woke all of it. The last frame was a single line of text. Terra activate. Wrath protocol. Target Zarnok. PRIM Operation Final Dawn. Earth strikes back in coordinated silence. The Red Zero fleet moved. 37 strike ships, 6 stealth cruisers, 1 orbital Titan-class platform. Their target, Zarnik's capital systems, military AI cores, cloning vats, and command bridges, but no civilians. This wasn't a massacre. This was surgical vengeance. Ember, Sobei, I whispered to Kai. Warpath clear. Casualty estimates minimal. Probability of regime collapse, 91.7%. Kai nodded. Execute. The collapse of Zarnok Prime across their empire. Defense towers shut down. Communication grids burned. 4 factories powered off. Commanders disappeared in nanite clouds. It was not war, it was disassembly, and above it all, a final ship descended. Astra Victus, Earth's lost prototype dreadnought. Never meant to fly, never meant to survive, but today it was the last word. It released no weapons. It simply hovered and broadcasted one line: Earth forgives no more. The last stand. Vokrax's refusal in his bunker. Vokrax refused to run. He opened an ancient vault. Inside, a crystal cube pulsing with void energy, recovered decades ago from the edge of known space. If I fall, he hissed, so will they. All. He activated the cube and the sky turned black. The real enemy wakes far beyond the galaxy. The unknown structure that followed Horus 1 finally entered standard space. It unfolded like a flower tens of kilometers wide. Not a ship, not a station, a memory engine. Alive, aware, not made of matter, but of thought and reaction. Tess watched it from the Mars relay station. That's not alien, that's not natural, that's ancient. The AI Emberline spoke softly. The entity is designated only in theoretical Terran code, named the Archivist. Rue stepped back. What does it archive civilizations? After they fall. The Archivist speaks across all known space. A voice echoed not in sound, but in thought. This war has run its cycle. You have proved your species worthy of memory, but you are unstable, violent, loud, prepare for collection. Tess gasped. It's not here to destroy us, it's here to catalog us. Kai clenched his fists, like we're just a book on its shelf. Can we fight it? Rue asked. Emberline hesitated. Unknown. But Terra protocols contain a last line of defense. Kai nodded. Open it. Earth's final protocol unleashed below Earth's surface, beneath the Pacific Ocean. Protocol 9 activated. The sky above shifted. Earth's magnetic field pulsed unnaturally. A hidden Terran satellite, once deactivated under treaty, powered on Saturn's spike. Its beam shot toward the Archivist. Not a weapon, a mirror pulse designed to reflect back the signal the entity used to catalog. For 3 seconds, the Archivist paused. It hesitated. Resistance noted. Adaptive species confirmed. Delay of collection, 1,000 cycles. Monitor status, active. And then, like dust and wind, it folded back into subspace. Gone. Peace returns. And echoes remain. The war was over. The Zarnok Empire collapsed. Earth's colonies were free. Red Zero was no longer a code. It was a flag. The galaxy looked different now. The Zarnok Empire was gone. Earth's colonies were free again. The Red Zero banner flew in 17 star systems, and no one dared laugh at humanity anymore. But peace was never simple. Not for Kai Mercer. Mars Ember Control Tower. Kai sat alone in the dark chamber, watching stars. Emberline's interface floated beside him, glowing softly. Report, he said. Civilian casualties. New refugee worlds, 9. Total Terran-controlled systems, 21. And the Archivist. Emberline hesitated, silent, but not gone. Kai closed his eyes. Then we don't rest. Tess finds a signal in Emberline's lower vault. Tess worked on cleaning recovered data from Horus 1's memory core. She found something strange. A folder labeled Deep Lock, Terra Black Rue. You seeing this? Jew scanned it, frowned. That's not from Horus 1, that's from Earth's pre-protocol network. This file shouldn't exist. The folder contained a list of coordinates. One of them was on Earth, the Andes Mountains. Same location where Emberline first awakened. But the others, they weren't in any known star system. They weren't even on known maps, Tess whispered. Who hid these? Rue looked pale. Maybe not who. Maybe what? Council rebuilds, but Earth is left out and never on call. The Galactic Council met again for the first time since the war, but Earth wasn't invited. The Zelari speaker stood. The Terrans must not be allowed to rise uncontested again. They are dangerous. Look at what they did in 8 weeks. The Mactel responded calmly. They only responded to aggression. They didn't start this war. The Zarnok did. But the Council was divided. Some feared Earth, some admired it, some wanted revenge. And in the shadows, a new faction formed. The core reclaimers. They believed Earth must be disarmed by force if necessary. Kai meets the Forgotten back on Mars. Kai received a visitor. She wore no uniform, no markings, but Kai knew her face. Hera Voss, he said. You were part of the Titan Protocol. She nodded. I was until we were buried. The Titan Protocol was Earth's last failsafe. A team of sleeper agents scattered across the stars, each holding forbidden knowledge. Why now? Kai asked. Because the Archivist wasn't alone. The dark map Hera handed Kai a data chip. On it, a map but not of space, a map of void distortions, subspace folds, reality cracks, hidden places where things could live unnoticed. There are 4 zones marked, Hera explained. We called them the Null Realms. The Archivist came from one, but 3 others are still dark and we don't know what's in them. Tess asked. Hera nodded. But we do know this. Earth locked them for a reason. And if Red Zero keeps making noise, the rest may come listening. On a quiet moon, something watches far away. On a cold, dead moon orbiting a forgotten gas giant. An alien salvage team scanned old wreckage from the war. One of them picked up a strange energy signal beneath the surface. Probably Terran junk, the technician said. They drilled. They found something metal. Black, not corroded. Still warm. Then it opened. Inside was a single eye. It blinked once and the entire team dropped dead. A signal pulsed from the moon. Designation Unit 3 of 4. Observer active. Phase quiet begins. Red Zero's internal division as Red Zero grew, so did its differences. Some captains wanted to strike preemptively, fearing other empires would unite. Others believed in diplomacy. Now that Earth had proved its strength, and then there was a third group, whispers of ships that had gone. Silent. No orders. No check-ins. Some suspected they'd found something in the void. Been found. Rue and Tess unlocked the final file back in Emberline. Rue finally cracked the last Terra blacklocked. It was a voice file, not a log, not a command, but a warning. Recorded over 400 years ago by Earth's original defense AI. If you hear this, the seals have broken. We locked the archivist. We locked the others. We built memory weapons to stop them, but Earth forgot. They never did. And if they come again, do not answer. Tess leaned back. We already did. Final scene. Kai's quiet to sit, stood alone in the Emberline garden dome, watching the artificial sunrise over Martian soil. Hera joined him. We won the war, but something tells me this was never about the Empire. Kai looked up. This was about reminding Earth what it was, because the stars never forgot. And now neither will we. Rain fell softly on Mars. Terraforming storms were now common, a side effect of orbital climate shields being reactivated. Kai Mercer stood in the tower's glass corridor, looking at Earth in the distance. Behind him, Emberline's voice was calm but different almost. Older, system scan complete. All Red Zero vessels accounted for, but one is behaving abnormally. Kai raised an eyebrow. Which one? Designation: Black Star Echo. Departed from Saturn Relay. No orders given, no contact since. The ghost ship Black Star Echo. Black Star Echo was one of the first ships to answer Kai's call during Red Zero's uprising. Its captain was once a sleeper agent from Earth's Cold Orbit Division, quiet, loyal, but now it was broadcasting a new signal, encrypted in Terra Black code. Contact confirmed. Observer 1 neutralized. Phase 2 can begin. Waking sequence. The door must open. The message repeated 3 times, then stopped. No one knew where the ship went next. Rue and Tess discovered the Null Vault in Emberline's vault. Rue and Tess were now decoding Earth's original war plans, never meant to be seen. They found references to something called Project Null Song. Tess read aloud for vaults scattered across pre-collapse Earth, each built to contain a piece of the voice that consumes. Rue scrolled through the file. Each vault was sealed. One in the Andes, one in Antarctica, one on the moon, one in deep orbit. We only woke the first one, Tess said quietly. Rue nodded. The others may have already started waking themselves. Earth begins to remember its real enemy. Kai held a private meeting with Hera, Voss, and surviving Horus 1 crew in a sealed chamber aboard Emberline. They showed him ancient data, thousands of years old, hidden in solar satellites. The files were predictions, models, of 4 ancient entities. The archivist was only the first. The second was called the Griever. It moved like smoke through space. The third, the Curator, wore civilizations like armor. The fourth was never named. Its description was corrupted. We locked him in subspace, Hera whispered. Not with weapons, but with memory. And now, Kai said, memory is our enemy. The Council declares Earth a threat back in Nevron Core. The Council had reached a verdict. The Zarnok Empire's destruction had created a power vacuum. Earth, now stronger than ever, was the only force capable of filling it. And the Council feared it. A vote was held, and with a narrow majority, the Council declared, all Red Zero forces are to be disarmed. Earth is to surrender all AI constructs. Emberline is to be dismantled. Failure to comply will be treated as an act of war. Kai responds. Earth's reply came just hours later. Kai appeared on all Council channels. Again, he looked tired, but his words were sharp. You don't fear Earth's strength. You fear its memory. You fear what it knows. And you're right, but we're not surrendering. Not to fear. Not to fools, because while you argue in your ivory towers, they're waking up. He stepped back. Behind him stood Rue, Tess, and the now fully active Emberline AI, eyes glowing red. We are not preparing for conquest. We're preparing for the end. And if you get in our way, he didn't finish. He didn't have to. Black Star Echo returns. The missing ship reappeared above Europa. Silent, empty. But something had changed. All systems were active, but no crew answered. Then Emberline received a final message. Vault 2 breached. Entity response contained. For now, recommendation: find the others before they do. Kai read the last line carefully. Warning: 1 is already among you. The Griever makes contact in a mining outpost near the edges of Red Zero space. Miners began going missing. Security cams showed nothing. No ships, no enemy. Only a fog that crept in through the vents. Machines corrupted. Lights went dim. 1 message was carved into a steel wall. The Griever returns what was taken. All that forgot shall be unmade. When Red Zero teams arrived 12 hours later, the station was gone, not destroyed, missing like it had never been built. Tess uncovers the real history of Emberline after tracing back Earth's AI history. Tess finally reached Emberline's true core, the part even Rue didn't know existed. There she found a single file, EMB Core Prometheus for our CTURA. The file showed Emberline wasn't just a defense AI, that was part of the original prison system used to trap the four, which meant if Emberline is online, the locks are failing. Rue builds a weapon Earth was never meant to use as Emberline unraveled its own secrets. Rue worked on a device deep in the vaults, a frequency generator based on subspace memory manipulation. If Successful, it could do two things: wipe the presence of an enemy from reality, or erase Earth's own history. To hide it again, Tess watched her work and whispered, "Would you really use it?" Rue didn't look up. "If I have to choose between Earth surviving or the galaxy remembering it, I choose Earth." Kai makes the choice. Kai stood before the new Terran assembly, a mix of Red Zero captains, AI tacticians, old Earth diplomats, and colony representatives. "We are not just rebuilding Earth, we are guarding something older than the stars. And if the four return," he paused, "then we become the firewall again, not because we're strong, but because we're the only ones who remember what happened last time." The final scene, the fourth one, moves far beyond even the archivists' origin point. In a place no light reached, something shifted. A single crack in space formed. From it, a shadow emerged. No face,